court appearance of Biafran leader Mazi's Biafran Liberation Army, led by Commander Igwe Butuzor and Gentle Dayahu, engaged with Nigerian army in a brutal gun battle in Okigwe, Imo State. A critic claims Southeast Nigerian politicians and the Nigerian military, including Nigerian Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa, are planning aerial bombings of Biafran civilian areas starting May 21, 2025. Reference to past attacks. He compares the alleged plans to previous military actions in Awo Omama, where civilian homes were bombed, reportedly killing children. However, a sit-at-home order was called for May 21, 2025, to mark the court appearance of Biafran leader Mazi Simon Ekpa and to avoid potential violence. The Biafran Liberation Army and allied groups like the Biafran Volunteer Force are reportedly engaging Nigerian forces in Okigwe. The critic mocks Nigerian military generals, accusing them of corruption and cowardice, claiming they have never fought real wars. He denies ever saying Simon Ekpa would be released on May 18, 2025, accuses critics and saboteurs of spreading lies, and insists the Nigerian government has no legal case against Simon Ekpa. The critic accuses Igbo individuals and internal saboteurs of hindering the Biafran movement, motivated by personal gain or fear. Simon Ekpa's court case in Finland is central to the speech, with claims that Nigeria is trying to frame him using weak charges and fake evidence. The critic lashes out at fellow Biafrans who criticize him or spread misinformation, calling them traitors and vowing to expose them. He predicts the opening of a Biafran embassy by May 30, 2025, and insists Nigeria is politically and morally defeated in its attempts to suppress the Biafra movement. Around mid-May 2025, the Biafran Liberation Army, led by individuals identified as Commander Igwe Butuzor and another known as Gentle Dayahu, reportedly engaged in a violent armed conflict with troops of the Nigerian army in Okigwe, a region located in Imo State, southeastern Nigeria. This battle was not merely a spontaneous clash, but rather an eruption of long-standing tensions that continue to divide parts of Nigeria along ethnic, political and ideological lines. To the casual observer, this might look like a law enforcement operation clashing with insurgents. However, to many people in the southeast and across the Biafran movement globally, this confrontation is seen as a part of their decades-long struggle for independence and self-determination. The Biafran Liberation Army claims to be fighting for the restoration of the former Republic of Biafra, a secessionist state that existed from 1967 to 1970 and which was forcefully reintegrated into Nigeria following a brutal civil war that left millions dead, many from starvation. In this particular conflict in Okigwe, reports suggest that the fighting was fierce and sustained, drawing significant attention from both local communities and observers abroad. Although the Nigerian army has not yet released an official statement about the scale of the encounter, video evidence and live social media updates from those on the ground have sparked intense debate. The Biafran fighters claim they are defending their land and people from what they call state-sponsored terrorism by the Nigerian military. On the other hand, the Nigerian state labels these groups as unlawful militias and insurgents undermining national unity and security. At the heart of this situation is an emotional and politically charged narrative that continues to polarize public opinion. In a live broadcast and statement that circulated widely across pro-Biafra media platforms, a vocal critic accused both southeastern Nigerian politicians and the Nigerian military, particularly pointing to the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Gwabin Musa, of plotting aerial bombings of civilian areas in the southeastern region starting on May 21, 2025. This accusation, though currently unverified, has ignited fear, outrage, and increased calls for resistance from within the Biafran community. This claim was made more alarming by references to a past incident in Awo Omama, another southeastern town, where fighter jets allegedly bombed residential homes and led to the deaths of several civilians, including children. The critic argued that the government is trying to replicate that tactic in Okigwe and other areas, this time under the guise of quelling separatist violence. To counter such anticipated violence and to demonstrate solidarity, A sit-at-home order was issued across Biafran territories for May 21, 2025. The sit-at-home directive was also intended to mark the court appearance of Mazi Simon Ekpa, one of the most controversial and prominent figures in the modern Biafran movement. Simon Ekpa, who operates from Finland and refers to himself as the Prime Minister of a Biafran government in exile, has been the subject of fierce legal and diplomatic pressure.
And they have had. Yes.